Incident that caught so many people's attention with Grammy winner Wyclef Jean. He was caught on camera. The rapper was handcuffed by the LA Sheriff's Department, mistaken for a criminal on the loose. He is now calling for an investigation into racial profiling. We're going to speak exclusively with Wyclef in a moment. But first, ABC's Kana Whitworth has those details for us.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous, some die with the name, some die nameless.
Monday night, Grammy winner Wyclef Jean claiming he was a victim of racial injustice, handcuffed and detained by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department.
Y'all see the police have handcuffs on me. They just took off my Haitian bandana. That's what's going on right now with Wyclef in LA right now.
Deputies responding to what they're describing as a violent crime. Pedestrians saying they were pistol whipped in West Hollywood. Jean was found nearby in a dark hoodie and bandana matching the suspect's outfit, riding in a vehicle fitting the suspect's car. The rapper was then handcuffed and detained for 6 minutes, writing, "I was treated like a criminal. I'm sure no father wants his sons or daughters to see him in handcuffs, especially if he is innocent." Authorities telling ABC News as they approached the vehicle, the driver and passenger almost simultaneously began to exit the vehicle, approaching the trunk, even though they say they told them not to.
As soon as we found out that he was not the suspect, he was not the person we were looking for, he was just dressed similarly, he was released.
The Sheriff's Department apprehending the actual suspects later, found just 4 blocks away. This 26-year-old male and 30-year-old female both now being held in lieu of $100,000 bail. Jean's spokesperson says the musician was subject to police brutality, racial profiling, and police bias. For Good Morning America, Kana Whitworth, ABC News, Los Angeles.
All right, thanks to Kana. Wyclef is now here with us. Thank you. Thank you for wanting to share your story. Tell us what happened.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank everybody, all of the kids out there. And for me, this is bigger than a black and white issue. So let's start off by the sheriff's report. What the sheriff's report says is there's a car which is tailored 2008 with a paper license plate. So that's what that's what the people saw. My car was stopped and it had no paper plate license plate. That's the first one. After I got out the car, automatically, the minute I got the car, I have my backpack on. I'm coming from the recording studio. I'm automatically rushed. When I'm rushed, guns are drawn, which is the part that you don't see. After the guns are drawn, I'm pulled over. The minute this happens, I say, I'm going to sue the LAPD because I don't know what's going on. I'm in shock and awe. I'm not even, because no one is telling me this is the sheriff's department, and I fully understand that. Then it goes a step further. I said, well, my name is Wyclef Jean. Then I'm taking and I'm put in handcuffs in the back. And I'm explaining, they said, do you have an ID? I said, yes, my hotel is right here. Basically, you stop me in front of my hotel. I can go in. Absolutely nothing, no form of conversation.
No communication with you and why you were being
No
stopped,
communication, yes. And I understand still because I have family in law enforcement, so I'm still with you. So, so then I'm taking inside of the police car. So now I'm detained in the back of the car with handcuffs, 100%. Now the video that you saw, I told people basically start rolling, and at the same time there was other people rolling. With the point that I want to make, and the racial profile point, is that basically I feel that I was targeted as a black man. It's clear and it was obvious because when I was getting out of the car and the way that the cops rushed me, the conversation that I was having with them, it was a silent and a death conversation. So as a citizen, I feel that it's only right that if I'm telling you my name and who I am, it only takes a second with the technology that we have to basically press a button and Google and say, this is Wyclef Jean. So I stepped up in the sense of, at the end of the day, I have family on both sides of the lens, but I got a chance to see what happens with a citizen versus a police firsthand. And I have to tell you, I was scared for my life to the point where I could have acted different. And if I acted different, something else would have happened.
And
you know?
we have seen that in the past. And I know you were saying about the license plate, but the car itself was similar to what they were looking for.
Yes.
2 passengers, those things were similar. Did you do anything? Did you do your actions in any way cause for the police for concern to think that you could possibly be that suspect?
No, the only.
Did you go for the? They said that they told you not to go to the trunk. Did you
No,
do that?
I mean, it would be impossible for wyclef Jean, for the cops to tell me not to go to the trunk, for me to go to the trunk. But once again, it shows you like the judicial power of one person versus another. So basically, I'm alive to tell my story, right? And my story is not a citizen versus police or police versus a citizen. It's the idea of how can citizens trust police. So in order for citizens to trust the police, yes, we must apply the law, but in applying the law, we have to find judicial which is fair for the citizen. So if I'm telling you my name and I'm saying to you that I am not that person, once you put me in cuffs, what do you think happens when my daughter sees me in cuffs? And I tell her, when the police stop you, this is how you have to act. You have to be civil, you cannot curse. And she sees her dad doing all of this on television, and at the same.
You were civil the whole time.
That's right. I was civil the whole time. I mean, you saw me. I was very civil in conversation.
Let me. We have a legal analyst, Dan Abrams, and I want to bring him in and ask him a question here. Dan, the police, they say they were just following due process.
Yeah, I mean, look, the facts become critical here, but let's be clear on something. Wyclef has every right to be upset, every right to be outraged. He was pulled over wrongly for something that had nothing to do with him. But now let's evaluate it through the police prism, right? You have a gold car that they're looking for, an older gold car with a female driver and a passenger, male, wearing some sort of bandana. The actual suspects are captured 4 blocks away. Does that mean that they got it right? No. But does that mean that what they did was improper? Also no. I think one of the critical factors, and I'd like to know from Wyclef, is when he was pulled over in those 6 minutes, did they tell him why, what they were investigating? Because I think that's crucial in terms of police procedure.
You heard, did they tell you why?
Yeah, definitely. So the number
What'd
one,
they say to you?
Yeah, the number one thing is when I was pulled over, and when I got out the car, I was not told why. So if I'm not told why and guns are drawn on me, how am I supposed to react? That's one. Number 2 is also when I'm handcuffed now, I tell the officer my name. Absolutely no reactions. Then I'm put inside of the car. Not until I'm put inside of the car and I'm in cuffs, 6 minutes, I'm told, okay, there was an investigation, and
So it's
basically,
that time they told you.
yeah. So could you imagine, like, what could have happened within that 6 minutes if you roll up on me and I don't really know what's going on? So at the end of the day, I do believe in law enforcement doing their jobs. This is not a conversation about Wyclef versus the police at all, but it's a conversation about treating citizens rightly. So was the police doing their job? Yes, the police was doing their job, but the part of the job that they did not do right is the idea of me being a citizen and the idea of putting me in cuffs. Yes, I don't only have the right to be upset, I have the right to basically challenge the judicial system as a citizen.
Yeah, and you answered Dan's question. And Dan, also, you realize that there is a broader issue here.
Yep, there's no question that this is part of a broader discussion that needs to continue to be had in this country. But I think that as we have that discussion, let's talk about the lines, right? Let's not just say because someone is pulled over and it was a mistake, as it turns out, that therefore police did wrong or did bad. Let's talk about exactly what happened. Let's talk about the procedures, exactly as we are having right now, which is exactly, for example, the police are saying that there were certain actions that he took that made them uncomfortable. Police do put people in cuffs sometimes, very much temporarily, as they try and sort something out. That's not necessarily bad procedure. That's not necessarily wrong. And furthermore, I'd say, imagine someone being pulled over and saying, I'm wyclef Jean, that could be considered a joke by some people. You got to verify it. You got to be able to confirm it.
Well, you wanted to verify.
And to Dan's point, definitely, I verified that, who I was. And the other point of what's going on that I want Dan to understand is, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that the police did wrong. The part of the issue in the long conversation that we have to have is how do we establish real relationships with the police and the citizen. So wyclef is alive. So as a person that is alive, I'm telling you I got out the car, Dan, and I'm telling you I did nothing wrong. I kept my backpack, my hands was down, I was cuffed, I never went in the trunk. So whoever tampered with that information and said wyclef was in the trunk, he went in the trunk when they asked him. I mean, this is LA, there's cameras, so the sheriff department have to also be very careful about the information that they're saying.
There's going to be a formal investigation. Thank you for
Thank
having
you
this
so
very
much.
important
Thank you.
discussion. Appreciate that.